Hi there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All educational videos channel. We are continuing with the learning Scratch, we are continuing with making Scratch tutorials, and in this video I am going to try to explain how and when to use Scratch block which is named set y to some value, some number. Okay, let's go to Scratch to see that in action. So far, if I click on my game to starts with a green flag and I move my cat to the left and the right and up and down, I can move it where I want. And because we have in last video we have used this Y position block and put it in this say block, we now on the screen have the Scratch which is telling us, which is saying us all the time, forever, what her position on y-axis is. So if I go to the here, I am at the 0 height, and if I go up, my height will rise, my height will become bigger and higher, and it will go up, and so on to the 200 and something pixels. And same with the when my cat is going down, my height is going to become lower and my Y position is becoming lower and lesser, all into the negative, all to the minus 200 and almost 20. So that's great, and that's the value of my cat and how high or low in the air or on the ground she is. But what I wanted to explain, what I have mentioned in last video, and I will try to explain that in this video, is when you have some kind of stage on your screen, I mean background or level where you have two different levels, like for example ground and sky. So you want your cat, your character, your player to be able only to walk on the ground, not in the sky, not to fly. You have to define how much in the air cat can go. So you, for example, you can explain Scratch to, you can say to Scratch, hey, my cat is going too much in the sky, too much too much up, bring her down so she can go only this far into the sky, and so on. So we will learn that today and see how that works, but for the first step we have to pick some backdrop. So click on your bottom right button which says choose a backdrop. Scratch backdrop library will open and let's find some which has distinctive sky and the field, the earth floor. So for I'm looking now for some Scratch backdrop which has sky and the earth, the field. So for example this blue sky is okay, but I don't like how this earth, this field is too small, this brown line. I want something bigger, like here, beach Rio maybe, or this boardwalk. Yeah, I will go with the boardwalk, and you can pick whatever you want, something different if you want. Okay, so click on this boardwalk and our stage is now changed, and it looks different because we have picked another backdrop. Okay, so let's start. Oops. Backdrop. Why my backdrop disappeared? Because yeah, because it's the last one. We have added this new backdrop for boardwalk, but when I start my game like this, I switch back to the level start, and that's why. That's because my cat is programmed to do that. Scratch, my cat is programmed to do that. That rhymes nice. So we have to find here on our code, in our code, where have we said to Scratch to change our backdrop, our background to first level start, and to change that into beach Rio. Okay, great. It's on the start, the first block which we have made. I mean the first block which we have added here on the Scratch to read. And this one says switch backdrop to level start. So find this one. This is how our game starts, and that's logic. You have to find it here under the when green flag is clicked. So somewhere below the when green flag is clicked, find switch backdrop to, and instead of level start, pick boardwalk. Okay, so this will probably mess something else, but for now on I want my game to start with boardwalk and not blank screen. So when I start like this, great, but when I go to the right, it will probably be messed up because it will it will jump to the white screen. Yeah, and why is that? That is because my stage backdrop last one is boardwalk, and we said when we go to the right, skip, go to the first one, loop to the first one, and the first one is white, then go to the second one, third one, fourth one, then loop, and so on. So it's kind of messed, so I will fix that one, that problem now fast. And the problem is that I want my game to start with boardwalk as the first, and I don't need this level start, this white blank screen which we have started with our game. I will just click on delete icon. Oops. Click on this delete icon in the top right, and now my game will start with boardwalk, second level will be concert, third one will be grid, and so on, first, second, third, and cat will go in that kind of the loop. Okay, so let's go back to cat. Let's start our game to see if it works nice. Yeah, I have the same problem here. Instead of from the first level to the second is good, from the second from the third is good, but from the third to the first I again have the problem that I switched to the concert instead of the beach. I switched to the beach only for a split of seconds. So let's fix that also now. So when I go from XY grid to level boardwalk, and that's what I have to find here. So when I go from this XY grid to this first level, yeah, and I can see the problem already. Because we have used level start backdrop earlier, and I have just deleted it from the backdrops, so there is no level start here, there is no blank screen, blank white backdrop here, and the Scratch forgot that, so Scratch is still trying to load level start, but we don't have level start anymore, we have only boardwalk. So click when backdrop switches to level start and change it to boardwalk. So now it should work fine. Cat should go from boardwalk to concert, from concert to XY stage, and from XY stage to boardwalk, and so on. It's endless loop and it works great. I like how it looks so far, and I like how there are no acid and lava here. And why is that? That is because same problem which we have just explained here with the cat moving. Lava and acid, they are trying to use level concert, but there is no level concert anymore. We have deleted it. Scratch forgot that he sometimes Scratch will do that automatically, but sometimes, as you see now, and it's good to see it as soon as possible, sometimes cat doesn't remember some changes, or doesn't react to them fast and in logical manner. So you don't try to lean on the Scratch too much, so thinking that he will do all the work for you in the background, but instead try to think about your game all the time in terms of, hey, I have changed this here now, how will that change affect all the games? So maybe I should see what else is that change affecting, what kind of sprites, what kind of backgrounds, and check it by playing your game, or checking by clicking on your objects and see what kind of objects are connected to that change and how that change affects them. Okay, let's finally see what I am trying to do here and to explain. Imagine our game is starting like this now. It looks great. Cat is on some boardwalk on some seaside, and cat is going left and right and up and down, and that is all good. But what if your player presses up too much, up arrow? Cat goes to the sky. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look realistic. It's strange. It ruins your game experience. Maybe for some of you want your cat to be able to walk in the sky like this, or on the sea like this, but I don't want. I don't want that for my game. I want my game to be able to look like some kind of platform or some kind of adventure game where cat is moving on the ground only. So if I press my up arrow, because I have added this Y position block into the say, I can see how my Y position is changing. So reading that number on the screen, I can exactly see how much on the Y position cat should go. So I don't want my cat to be able to go more than this, and this is -20. For example, maybe even this, yeah, -40. So this is the height which I don't want my cat to be able to go more than into the Y position, up position in the air. So this position, if I move left and the right, it won't change. It's -40, and that's because my background is this how it's called, boardwalk, yeah. And maybe you use some other backdrop, some other background, so maybe this number is different for you, so you can change that as much as you want. But for my game, -40 is the limit which I want to use. So that's what I have to remember and write down on, or try to remember. And when I now I will go to find this new block I'm trying to explain in this video finally, which says set Y to, and it's already in there because my cat, that's great with the Scratch. Scratch is, that's what I was talking about earlier. Sometimes it's doing some automatic changes for you. So you can see that this -40 is exactly this -40 here, Y position here under the stage. Y says -40, and that is because our cat is currently staying there, okay, on that height. So great, I don't even have to type that number. That's set Y to -40, I just have to think about a little bit how to code it into the Scratch. For that purpose, I will have to define my problem first, and I will have to write it down into the say block as we have used before. Okay, so if the cat goes up over -40 y value on y-axis, this, for example, I will just attach this one so I can make some compare that to some something which we have used before, just to see a second. Yeah, I will just attach it here, and okay, and I will detach this say y position for a second. I will remember where it was. If the cat goes up over -40 y value on y-axis, do something. Okay, do something. So if you have watched my previous videos, and if you have watched me using this x position, which I have explained before, then you know that the problem which we have here now is almost the same which we have had before, and we have solved it, and that's this problem. Now we have the problem if the cat is going up over some value on y-axis, that means on axis which goes up and down, top and bottom, do something. And earlier, if you have watched my previous videos, we have used similar we had similar problem. Only difference was that we had, instead of y position and that is up and down, we had x position and that is left and right. So cat was going left and right, and we said if the cat moved to the x position, to the right position over 220, then do something. And in our case that was change the backdrop, go to the next level. So instead of doing that, move left and right and do something if you're too much on the right. Now we have this only difference is now we have up and down. So now is y-axis and before we had x-axis. So I'm explaining this because this problem is similar, and I will try to use this if block. I will right click on it, duplicate it, and drag it here. So what I'm trying to do now, let's click on the green flag to see that again. If the cat goes up over -40 y value on y-axis, do something. What is that something? Do this. Put the cat back, bring her down, pull her down to the value of y equals -40. Okay, let's read this. I did this on purpose. I have typed a little bit too much text, but just to relax you and explain how you can define the problem first and then solve it. So if the cat goes up over -40 value on y-axis, put the cat back, bring her down, pull her down. That's meaning all the same. That's meaning this: if I go too much in the air, bring me down, bring the cat down, pull her down, bring her back, put her back. So I have used different words just to explain that for defining the problem you can use any word you like, just as long as you understand the problem, right? So I want to bring the cat down, and I want my cat to be always on this -40 value if she tries to go up in the sky. So if the cat is going up, 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 the Scratch will do this, slam her back to the -40. It doesn't matter if she is here and trying to go up. Oh no, you're too much in the air, go back to -40. Oh no, you're too much in the air, go back to -40. No, go back, no, go back, no, go back, and so on. You won't see this happening because this is happening really, really fast. Scratch is doing that so many times in the split of the second, but what you will be able to see is that when you press the up arrow, your cat won't be able to go up. It will always be here. So you will be able to go left and right, but never up on the sea, never up in the sky. Okay, so let's just define that with the Scratch blocks. If the cat goes over -40, let's try to solve that problem first. Over -40 y value. Okay, I have y value, that is y position. We have learned that in previous video. Here we have used it to show our y position. Now we will use it in some other manner. Okay, so if my meaning cat, if my y value is -40, how over -40? How am I going to define that some value is over or lower than some other? You have to use these operators. We have explained them before, and we have used them before with this. So I can just detach this x position, attach this y position, delete this one because we have too much blocks now here. And now I want to say, or if you don't have this block, just click here on bigger than, lesser than, and say if cat goes over -40, do something. Okay, what else do I need? I need this if block. Why? Because that's what I'm trying to do here. If the cat, if, here is the if question block, if the cat goes over -40, where? On y position. So if the cat, just click and drag it here, this green block, and then this blue block into this. So what we are trying to say here, if the y position, that means up and down position of my cat, is greater than -40, then do something. What is that something? That something is what we are trying to define here and solve here, and that is pull the cat back down. Where? To the value of -40. And that is where this set blocks comes in handy, this set y2. So click on that block, set y2, and drag and drop it into this block, and delete this, and let's see if it will work. So let's just read it once again in English to understand what we are doing, and then test how we are doing it in Scratch. If my y position is over -40, then bring my character, my sprite back to -40. This set means it will bring some value to some other value and set it to that value. So if your value is 100 and you say set it to 10, it will be 10. If it's 1,002,000, set it to 10, it will be 10. So this set value will be the last value you see, the final value, and it's used as a limiter, as some maximum or minimum value, and that's how you define your maximum or minimum value. Okay, so where we are going to set this scratch block in, where we are going to put this. My cat can move up and down all the time, so the scratch will have to test it all the time. What is that? That means forever. Scratch will have to test it forever. Is my cat up? Is my cat going down? Is my cat going left, right, and so on? So I have to attach it into the forever block. Let's try to attach it on the bottom and see if it works. Yeah, it works. Great. So you can see I'm pressing the top arrow, I'm pressing this up arrow key, and I should go 10 pixels to the up, change Y by 10, but it doesn't work. Why is not working? Why my cat is not going up? Because I have set it here. If you are over -40, go back to -40. That means if you are going too much in the sky, go back to the limit which I have made. So the cat won't be able to go on the sea, the cat won't be able to go in the sky, and that looks great to me. What will be the problem here? This looks and works great for this stage, for the first stage, but because we have used it here in our forever block, and as you can see it goes yellow all the time, so the scratch is reading this all the time, forever. This will work great and will look great on the first stage, on the first backdrop, but when I go on the second stage, what will happen? I will not be able to go up over this limit, because that limit is set forever for all of my backdrops and all of my game. On this second level it even looks good, more or less, maybe a little bit more, but for example, if you want your cat to go up a little bit more on this level, we will add more levels in new videos. So you want your cat to go up, it won't be able to. Why is that? Because this limit worked great for the first stage, but the scratch is reading it all the time, and we don't want that. Maybe we don't want that for every level. So how to solve it? You would have to duplicate this block and add it to these blocks which we have defined earlier, and these blocks are doing what? These blocks are used for this one is used for which level? Boardwalk. This one for concert. This one for XY grid. So if I want my cat to go up and down -40 only on this first level, I should attach it to this boardwalk when backdrop switches to boardwalk. If I want my cat to go a little bit higher on the second level, for example -70, I will have to attach it here on the second block, level concert. If I want my cat to go even more higher on the third level, I will have to make new one and attach it here. So what are we doing here? We are making our game and scratch able to see that we have on every level we want our cat to move different in up and down limits. So we have to define that here on backdrop switches to code blocks and not here on forever, because this when green flag clicked forever is working for the whole game, and we don't want the same effect for this whole game. I want my cat to be able to go this high on the first level, but I want my cat to be able to go a little bit more higher here, and my cat is not available to here now. Okay, so I will just fix that now fast. If you are confused, don't do it, leave it like this, but I think I have explained it reasonably and fast, and it sounds logical, at least to me. So first of all, we have this problem here defined still on the stage. I don't want that. I will detach this say block, attach this again, and I will I will use this say position and bring it back where it was into the else block. So I will test the game now, so I can, and I will detach the block which we have made here, Y position, just so I can test the second level to see how much I want my cat to go on the second level on the Y axis to the top. Okay, so I have -40 now. As you have seen here, if I have used this if block into this forever block, my cat would be limited and it won't be able to move more up, and I want my cat to be able to move a couple of inches more into the top direction. So I will press now up arrow and see how much in the air I want the cat to go. Maybe like this, or yeah, like this is okay, -20. So this is the value I need on the second level. I need my limit to be -20. As we said, the good thing is that Scratch is doing changing these values automatically on these blocks here. So my value now is -20, and it will be here -20 already in set Y. And when I want the Scratch to be able to do that, I want my cat to be able to do that when she is on the level concert. So I have to find this code here. When backdrop switches to level concert, set the cat size to 75 to make it a little bit smaller, put her to the left and make her be able to go to -20 only. So I'll change these values here, and I think I have to add forever block here also. Don't forget it, because we want, I think it will work, because I want my cat to be able to do that as long as she wants, forever. Okay, that works great. I need that on the second level, but because we have detached this block from forever block green flag block, we have to add it to first level. So when backdrop switches to boardwalk, that is my first level, set her size to 100%, that's cool, go to the left, that's cool. What else do we want to say here? I want my cat to be able forever to move up only to -40. So we have defined -40 as limit for the boardwalk for the first level. We have defined -20 for the second level, and let's try this also for the third level. Forever Y position to let's go to plus 50 to see what will happen. Okay, I will delete these blocks here, and yeah, these are the old ones. I have to delete the old blocks sometime in the future so we can have clear situation here and you can see clearly what we are doing here. So what have we just done here is that we have defined 3 different Y position limits for the cat. One for the first level, one for the second level, and one for the third level. So on the first level, if everything works good, cat will be can only move to the limit of this boardwalk. Yeah, that looks good. And now when I enter the second level, my limit is different there, so I will be able to move a little bit more in the sky, meaning I can almost touch these speakers. And now minus 40. We will have to check that. Why is that so? And yes, it still is minus 40. Maybe it's because of this forever block, or probably because I have never resetted my Y position. Yeah, I probably have to reset. I'll check this in next video. It's already took me too long to do this, but we have to solve this, and it's probably 1 or 2 blocks. I am too tired now to do it, but it's probably, let's try it here without forever, but I don't think it will work. Maybe it will, maybe it reads. No, it doesn't. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think it's only just me defining it when backdrop switches to. The problem is here, definitely. When I was on the first level, I have set my Y position to minus 40 limit, and the cat remembered that, but the problem is the cat is remembering that still when it goes on the second level, so I have to define it here. When the cat enters the second level from the first, I have to set the X. Let's try this. Set Y to Y position, so it can change its position. Maybe it will go wild, I don't know. Let's just see what happens. So this works. And this doesn't. Yeah, I will definitely solve this in next video. I think I have a couple of solutions, but it will probably take me 5 to 10 minutes to do that also, and that would be too much for this video. Okay, so for this video, that's it, and I hope you'll learn something new here, and we will definitely need to solve this problem in next few videos, and maybe use some other blocks or use the ones which we have learned before, but we must solve this problem. It's crucial for our game. That's it for this video, and I hope I will see you in next one. Bye for now.